This week, London's calling. The Jaguars face the Miami Dolphins across the pond, looking for their first win.
Regardless of where we're at, we're still got to win a game.
Jeff Loggeman takes us into the film room to break down James Robinson's career day against the Titans.
40, 30, terrific run by J-Rob.
Plus, the Jags are doing good in the community.
Seeing how the Jaguars is still involved in Matthew Gilbert against the world.
All that and way more ahead on Jaguars Weekend.
This is TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. Geico. Saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save. And Cadillac. Visit your local greater area Jacksonville Cadillac dealer.
Can't get desperate, you know. You gotta just keep going to work, and we're gonna win some games. We're gonna turn it around, and you know, we all thought today was the day we're gonna get that first win, and it wasn't. You know, we didn't execute enough down the stretch, but we're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna turn this thing around. It's gonna be a lot of fun when we do.
Quarterback Trevor Lawrence is right. This team does need to get a win and break a 20-game losing streak. Hello and welcome to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. It's the first trip for this coaching staff to London. The Jaguars will travel the 4,200 miles across the Atlantic Ocean to take on a struggling Dolphins team. It's a favorable matchup on paper, but the Dolphins are saying the exact same thing. The Jaguars have to worry about taking care of their bodies on a long flight and getting a much-needed win.
It's a long flight. That's what I've been thinking about.
Caleb on Chason is not wrong. It is a long flight to London. According to veteran players, the key is staying hydrated and sleeping as much as you can on the flight, so you're ready to hit the ground running. Head coach Urban Meyer hopes the veteran experience will lead to a win across the pond.
There's three different options that were available to us that other teams have used that the Jags have actually used, and Linder was a big part of because he's been around a while and he's kind of the spokesman or one of the lead guys of our leadership committee.
The most important thing is to come home with a win going into the bye week. The better Trevor Lawrence is at his job, the closer the Jaguars are to breaking this losing streak. And he knows it.
You know, obviously, the past two games have been my best as far as decisions go. I have faith in my ability that when there's a play to be made, I'll make it. But just doing the little things every play to take care of the football, to get it in our guys' hands that can go make plays, and really just to put us in a position to win.
Quarterback Trevor Lawrence getting more comfortable weekly, and it is so obvious that this guy will be, and already is, the franchise quarterback for the Jaguars. Welcome into the huddle with Brian Sexton and John Oehser. The Jaguars getting ready to kick off in London, and this is some adversity, Brian, but not really. This team has done this so many times, and yes, it's a new coach, a new quarterback, but everyone else really has been there, done that with this London trip.
Well, it's a long trip, but guys travel. Guys have traveled for football. Really, the adversity this team is facing is the fact that they've lost 5 games in a row. That's worse than a long trip. They'll get over. These guys, the logistics team, they understand how to make the schedule work and how to make travel as easy as possible. But in terms of the trip, I don't know that I think it's adversity. I think 0-5 is the weight of the adversity they're carrying with them.
Well, there's more guys who haven't done this trip than have done it in the past. And what you don't want to see is the Jaguars do what the Baltimore Ravens did in 2017 when they played the Jaguars, where it felt like the Ravens were a little distracted by it, lost 44-7 to a good Jaguars team. Listen to the logistics people, hydrate, do all the things they're telling you to do, stay focused on the fact that it's a football game, and the Jaguars will be fine on that front.
This is why I'm not worried about the distraction of the adversity. Do you have any doubt, John, that Trevor Lawrence knows how to focus? That he's not going to be distracted by what's going on around? He's a football guy. He understands his role as the football guy in that locker room and on the field. That's why I just don't think it's going to be a problem. That's how much faith I have in the young man.
I have no doubt. There's 53 other guys that I don't know as well, so we'll see.
We will see. And one guy that we haven't talked about yet that deserves recognition is James Robinson, coming off his career best day, 149 yards. And Brian, the big topic this week is where was he on the field? He had 18 carries. He's had 22 or more carries 4 games last season. So fans are clamoring for more James Robinson, and I think we most likely will see that against the Miami Dolphins.
Well, that's 2 games in a row on the goal line where you want the ball in James Robinson's hands. They didn't hand it off in Cincinnati, and they didn't have him on the field against the Titans. Look, I look at Robinson and I keep wanting to say, well, he's not this or he's not that. 5.8 yards per carry, he's everything that you need. His vision is extraordinary. Yes, in goal line situations, I want to see the ball in his hands.
Yeah, I had less of a problem with the goal line play than a lot of people thought he maybe should have been in on that whole series. Interesting is how they continue to try to get him the ball in the second half if they're trailing. It was 12 in the first half carries, 6 last week in the second half. It's tough to keep a running back involved if you're trailing. This Jaguars team has trailed, probably will trail in the second half. I think you'll see them work harder to keep him involved, even if it's a situation where you normally wouldn't have the running back involved. I think that's their task moving forward.
Now we look at this Miami Dolphins defense that is struggling. This is a team that has lost 4 in a row, and they have the most expensive cornerback duo in the NFL, led by Xavier Howard. So at first you look at that and you go, okay, well, the Jaguars might not pass the ball as much. But then you look at what Laviska Shenault did last week and you scratch your head, why aren't we seeing more of that? Why aren't we seeing that explosive playmaking ability from Laviska Shenault?
Well, I think what you're going to see this week is the Jaguars are not a down-the-field team. They just don't have that kind of speed. So play to your strength, and that is get the ball to Shenault. There's 2 kinds of receivers, guys that catch then run and guys that run to catch. He is a catch-then-run guy. Get James Robinson involved, keep him involved, even if you're behind, by throwing him the ball. He's a very capable receiver as well. If this team does what it does best, it's going to get the ball in the hands of those guys where they can and let them do something after the catch. That's what Robinson and Shenault do best.
Yeah, Laviska is a little bit of a tricky situation. He's been a wide receiver in the NFL since he got in, but now he's sort of transitioning and playing outside, whereas he played inside. That's all resulted of the DJ Chark injury. So they're having to adjust a little bit how you get him the ball. I don't think you're going to get him the ball 25 yards downfield a lot. Quick screens, bubble screens, things like that. They're having to adjust to how you get him the ball when he's playing a position where normally he would be getting the ball downfield. So that's a storyline to watch, is how they start working him into the offense at a new position.
Yes, you mentioned DJ Chark being out on injured reserve, and that leads us right into finding solutions presented by UF Health, delivering compassionate care and world-class outcomes. Visit ufhealthjax.org. It is that point in the season where the Jaguars are dealing with some injuries. They are down 2 offensive linemen starters, Brandon Linder, AJ Cann. You mentioned DJ Chark. Linebacker Myles Jack not making this trip to London. You're luckily going into the bye week, Brian, but you're going to have to overcome this adverse situation with key players out this week.
Yeah, and Myles Jack is the guy. I mean, look, Brandon Linder on the offense we've talked a lot about, but Myles Jack on defense is not the quarterback with the green dot. I know that's been a story this week as well, but he's the guy you count on to make plays, and he generally does in both the running game and the passing game. You're going to miss him if Mike Gesicki, the tight end, gets loose in the middle of the field this week, because Myles is a guy who can play in coverage.
Well, adversity is real on the offensive line now. You've lost 2, Cann and Linder. Now you're down to Shatley as your starting center. All of that's fine because Ben Barch has played fine for A.J. Cann. Tyler Shatley will play well for Brandon Linder. Now you're down to where Casey McDermott, it sounds like, who's never played in the NFL or has never played significantly, will be the backup center. Point is, I think you're out of depth on the offensive line, so guys, stay healthy.
Yes, adding adversity to a team that has not won a game this season, but we'll see if the Jaguars can snap that 20-game losing streak in London. Much more to come from Brian Sexton and John Oehser here on Jaguars Weekend. Coming up on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend, we're in the film room breaking down James Robinson's career day. That's next.
Jaguars Weekend is presented in part by TIAA Bank. Turn potential into progress. And by Geico. Saving people money on car insurance has been in Geico's playbook for 85 years. Visit geico.com today and see all the ways you could save.
Inside handoff to James Robinson, all kind of room, 40, 45, along the far sideline, 40, 30, 25, 20. James Robinson tripped up inside the 15-yard line. A terrific run by J-Rob.
Stop playing! Let's go! Yeah, James! Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, boy.
Running back James Robinson was mic'd up against the Titans. He had a career day, rushing for nearly 150 yards. Welcome back to TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. I'm Ashlyn Sullivan. James Robinson made a splash his rookie season. He rushed for over 1,000 yards. Now in his second season, he's continuing to make an impact. Let's take a look at his career-high 149-yard game with the help of Jeff Loggeman in the Cadillac Film Room.
Inside handoff to James Robinson, all kind of room, 40, 45, along the far sideline, 40, 30, 25, 20. James Robinson tripped up inside the 15-yard line. A terrific run by J-Rob.
Welcome into the football lab, and James Robinson had a great 58-yard run early in the ball game and had a couple of combo blocks that helped spring him. What's a combo block? It's the combination of two offensive players blocking two defenders, and where they are and where they line and where they go could depend on which offensive player picks up the second one. So to give you an example, when James gets the ball on the play, he actually kind of shows he's going in this hole. The linebacker to this side comes over here. So Linder, the center, comes off and blocks him. And then Norwell stays on the tackle. On this side over here, great job by Barch and Jawan Taylor, because they take this tackle and they literally drive him all the way back into the lap of the linebacker, taking him out. So these two combo blocks were critical. What James Robinson does, once he shows going up into here, he bounces it right through here and he's hitting it with speed. Because he has that speed, it now negates and makes the angle by the safety bad. And James is off to the races. He also gets a little bit of help to the outside. Laviska Shenault gets a great block. Didn't have a lot of catches, didn't have a lot of targets. My blocker of the day. But two combo blocks that spring him, and he's off to the races. Let's jump into the film and take a look at it. Now with the beginning of the play, let's take a look at it in slow motion so we can see these combo blocks. There's the combo block to the left side. You can see the linebacker ducking to the inside. Linder picks him up. The other two guys, Barch and Taylor, drive the defensive tackle off into the lap of the linebacker. There's the crease for James Robinson. Take a look at the speed that he hits this crease. You can see the safety Byard coming up, thinks he's got a good angle, but because J-Rob hits it with great speed, the angle is bad and it's off to the races. A great run with two great combo blocks. Trevor Lawrence's 4-yard touchdown run was a matter of numbers and angles. What do I mean? Well, it starts with the formation. They come out in a spread formation. They're trying to get as many people away from the core as they can. On the snap of the ball, Jamal Agnew runs a little flare, and the defense is thinking quick screen. So these three defenders are now completely out of the picture. These two wide receivers on this side are running option routes to the outside. Now they're out of the picture, so now you have just the core. So now that you've got the numbers that you want, now you have to get the angles to block everybody. You've got naturally good angles to block the end, the tackle, and the end on this side. That leaves the linebacker and the tackle. How do you get the angle? Linder comes off and blocks the tackle this way. Norwell comes behind a little fold block and blocks the linebacker right there. Now you're probably saying, well, what about the safety? Well, because Trevor Lawrence hits it pretty quick and you've got the angles, he's right up the middle here, untouched into the end zone, and the safety can't be a factor because the numbers and the angles all lined up. Now let's jump into the film and take a look at it. The spread formation, you can see it's moving everybody to the outside, and then on the snap of the ball, Jamal Agnew running that little outside flare route, it draws them all away from the core. And this look from behind the defense, you're gonna see how you get the angles to block the defenders. Take a look at Linder. Linder just pushes them out. Norwell folds behind. Now he's got the angle as well. And an excellent block to the right side there by Barch. Excellent play design, and it's all about numbers and angles.
There's more to come on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. We go to the Dogs. We hang out with DJ Chark and his four-legged pals. That's next.
To all the people battling cancer, we honor you. You've got this.
To all the cancer survivors out there, you inspire us.
Sending love and support to all those who are battling cancer. We got your back.
The Jaguars are standing up to cancer, celebrating the NFL's crucial catch month as the league continues their fight to find a cure. We're back on TIAA Bank Jaguars Weekend. DJ Chark is out with an ankle injury, but he's on the road to recovery with the help of his family and, of course, his two dogs, Bam Bam and Dundee. Let's find out more in this week's Dogs of Duval, presented by Pet Paradise.
Pet Paradise is really great, and Lambo take his dogs there a lot. So, we tried them out, and they've been really good. They're very nice. Anytime you call, they automatically know it's Bam Bam and Dundee. They get excited when we bring them. So that's always a good feeling.
I can go ahead and take him for you. No problem.
I think just getting to be with the other dogs. They have like a pool, kinda, that the dogs can run in. Dundee loves the water. Bam loves to just be around other dogs and bark at them. I don't know why. But they love the interaction when they can get with other dogs. They're very sweet. They get unlimited supply of dogs. Having the vet there is also like a one-stop shop. You could take them for all the playing needs, but also the serious checkups and things like that. When they're there, they're also going to be safe. They love going, and every time we go pick them up, they're exhausted. So, they did all the hard work for us, and they treat all the dogs like an extension of their family. So it's pretty cool.
When you make it to the highest level, it's all about supporting future generations and paving the way for them. The Jaguars are doing just that. They donated football equipment to a local middle school, so the team will be ready to compete this season. Let's find out more in our Back to Self feature.
Matthew Gilbert Middle School. We heard that you were missing helmets and equipment for the football team, so Jacksonville Jags, we decided to help y'all out, hook y'all up for this season, man. So make sure y'all handle business this year, you know what I'm saying? Let's go. Go Jags.
We are super grateful that the Jaguars Foundation donated so many items to our football team and our school as a whole. We know that we are facing a raging pandemic at this time. We are just immensely grateful. They took their time and thought about Matthew Gilbert and donated to our Panthers.
That's the thing, you know how like you put the ice and stuff in them?
Yeah.
That's you soak your body in them.
Seeing how the Jaguars is still involved in Matthew Gilbert and still trying to help this community since we are so close to the Jaguar Stadium means the world.
You got toe? You got toe?
So we expect nothing but the best from the Jaguars. So that we are so grateful just knowing that we're in this together. I think that's what we feel about Duval when we give that chant is knowing that it's a collective, it's a cohesion of family, and to know that Jaguars are leading that charge means the world to us in the community.
Still to come, Brian Sexton and John Oehser are back to talk about this matchup against the Miami Dolphins.
Play fake. Now Trevor rolls right. Now back to the middle. Fires to the middle of the field. Caught by Laviska Shenault. First catch by Laviska today. He broke a tackle. Still on his feet. Laviska Shenault to the 30. To the 25. To the 20. Let's go, boy! Hell yeah! On the far sideline. Knocked out of bounds near the 10-yard line. What a play by Laviska Shenault.
Big dog.
We have been waiting for that big explosive play to happen for Laviska Shenault this season, and you saw it right there. You can check out all the mic'd up features on Jaguars.com. We're back in the huddle with Brian Sexton and John Oehser. All right, quickly, guys. One guy you are paying attention to in London for this game.
Cornerback Shaq Griffin. If you paid attention last Sunday, devastated is too strong a word, but he was really unhappy with himself for missing the chance to turn the tide with an interception against the Titans. And that's happened a few times to him this year. The pain was real. He's dedicated to making a game-changing kind of play. The Jaguars paid him to be that guy, and he's proud to be that guy. I think this is the week he is that guy and makes a play that gives the Jaguars a chance to win.
Yeah, I'll stick with defense. I'll go with Josh Allen. K'Lavon Chaisson had what we hope for his sake is a breakout game last week against Tennessee. So maybe Josh Allen on the other side gets a little less of a look from the offense, not paying attention to him. He sort of gets going. You've been waiting for him to be a breakout, core level type player. Hasn't quite reached that. Maybe K'Lavon's emergence will help him with that.
All right, I'm going offense, and I'm going with a guy, running back James Robinson, who's coming off his best game of his career. I think he's going to have his 6th game with over 100 yards this week against the Dolphins. I think he's going to have 2 rushing touchdowns, and most importantly, I think he's going to be on the field when it matters most. And we all will be paying attention to if luck is on the Jaguars' side in London, trying to snap this 20-game losing streak and get their first win of the season. So stay with us here on Jaguars Weekend, and we will see you in the bye week.